Marc The Shark MMA Show.
Welcome to the Marc The Shark MMA Show. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as my Twitch channel. And if you can, check out the website as well if you want to be interviewed on the show or even help support the channel by buying a hoodie or a t-shirt. It's at www.markthesharkmmashow.com. You can even go there if you want to sign up and be on the show. And if you can't, go to RitortoFamilyBooks.com and pick up an autographed copy of my book, The Kabbalah Saga Begins, or check out the books my daughter have written. They're also available on Amazon.com. All right, everybody, sit back and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, we're back on the Marc The Shark MMA Show. And today we got Zane back. I haven't seen Zane in a very long time. I've been talking to people about you. I'm like, yeah, I got this other guy, Zane. He comes on, but I don't know. He has been around a while. Well, anyway, we're here to discuss the upcoming UFC 262, which starts not this Saturday, following Saturday. The main card featuring Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. What I'm glad to see is that Zane and I both called this, that this should be the matchup for the contender to fight for the belt. And I remember that specifically, that we said that this should be one of the determining factors. And actually, this is for the belt. This one was checking it online. I thought it was going to be the winner of these would fight, like either what's his name, Dustin Poirier or Conor for the belt. But this is actually for the belt. I just realized that. Wow. Now, we'll get into who we think's going to win that next. But you got some other good fights here. I mean, you got Edson Barboza. You got Beneil Dariush versus Tony Ferguson. I mean, I don't know which one you want to start out with that's on the main event. Which one do you want to start with? So I don't even see any prelim scheduled for this, unless they left this out on the website. Maybe they didn't break it up.
Well, Mark, I got a question for you. What was the reason why they made this for the belt?
I don't know. I don't know the particular reasoning behind it. Right? Because I think I didn't watch it. I know Chael was talking about Dustin Poirier giving up fighting for the belt for the fight Conor. Now I didn't watch the video, so I just assumed that he meant like he put it on hold because he wanted to fight Conor because he knows it's a money fight.
Does it have anything?
I'm assuming they offered it to him and he turned it down. But I mean, because Chandler just like flew right in there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's multiple-time world champion Bellator, but I'm sure there's other people that are pretty pissed off about that, like Justin, right? Gagey, he was one. He beat Ferguson, but then who did he fight last that he lost to?
Well, we know that Khabib has the 155-pound title, and then he retired.
So that's how it became vacant, right?
Now, I think it's just been vacant for a while, but the thing is, then they, I guess, decided, okay, we're going to have a fight between Poirier and Conor, and then that was supposed to be, who did Poirier beat, and then he was awarded the title?
That was
it wasn't Conor.
Holloway. That was Holloway. That was before.
Right. So he beat Holloway, and then he became the title winner. Is that correct?
He was an interim title holder, yeah, but I don't remember what happened after that. Well, anyway, let's just get to the fight picks because
my thing is,
forever trying to figure it out.
I think when he beat Conor,
in general, the UFC doesn't have any like clear set rankings. I mean, they got guys that haven't fought in a year still in the top 5 in these weight divisions, which makes no sense. So
I think
they just do
I think
whatever
it's
they
a
want. They
combination.
do whatever they want. There's no rhyme or reason for why they do things.
Well, I think it's a combination of popularity and
It's whoever's going to draw the money. It's
right. I think it is also a money thing too. But I think that Chandler and Oliveira, I can't
No,
wait.
let's go to the ones before that. Like, what do you think? Let's start with Edson Barboza.
Barboza, he's another favorite of mine, but he hasn't really beaten any of the big, top guys. He's even though he's amazing to watch, I really like to see him fight. I love his kicks. I still put him there as a top 10 fighter. It's just that he hasn't beaten any of the really top guys.
Yeah, he's down at lightweight now. He came off his last fight. He won. The 2 prior to that, he lost 3 in a row.
Well, it's not lightweight.
That's when he went up in weight class and then he decided to go back down or whatever.
Right, he's at featherweight. He's at 145.
Now he's at 155, bro.
Well, no, it says that this fight is at 145.
That's not what I'm seeing. Could be wrong, but that's what it says here on his weight thing.
Well, no,
whatever. I mean, I don't know, because the other guy.
You got to look on the site.
You might be right, because the other guy, they got a 140. Maybe when they put their weights on, maybe they're putting, I don't know, whatever.
No, it's just that
I don't know too much about Shane.
This particular fight, it's at 140.
Is it?
Yeah. If you go to UFC.
Oh, I'm using MMA Junkie.
I know he may have fought at lightweight for a while, but if you go to UFC 262 and you look at the weight,
okay.
All right. So anyway, he's right now at featherweight. So maybe because he hasn't really done that well, so maybe
that's what I think he did.
He might be really, really good at this weight, but maybe not. Maybe he's, he was already ripped and light, but maybe he's able to get a little bit lighter, and maybe he'll be the bigger guy.
Yeah. Now the other guy, Shane, he just lost this fight to Josh Emmett. But prior to that, he won 3 in a row. Now he's 13-2. Barboza is 21-9.
I'm always going to lean towards Barboza against a guy who's not well known.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Barboza too.
Yeah, I would choose him.
And then you got Caitlin Kukahagen, which I'm probably going to go with only because she's part of the Danaher Death Squad. She's a Renzo Gracie affiliate, trains with Danaher. I really don't know much about Vivian. She's got 10 wins, 2 losses, whereas Caitlin's got 15 wins, 4 losses. So she's got more experience.
Well, she
beat Cynthia Calvillo.
Vivian beat Roxanne Modafferi.
And she beat the champ, Shevchenko's sister.
Yeah, but the sister I don't think is as good as the champ.
She's not as good as her sister, but her sister's a world champion kickboxer, dude. She's no joke either. She's just not as good as her sister.
No, I understand, but if I had to guess, I'm actually gonna.
I'm gonna say this: if it goes to the ground, Caitlin's gonna win. That's just it. I mean, she changed with Gordon Ryan and that whole death side. So if it goes to the ground, I'm gonna give it to her.
I don't know. I have seen high ranked jiu-jitsu people lose, but I've seen Caitlin. She's good. I haven't seen much of Vivian, but I'm gonna guess on this one. I'm guessing that Vivian takes it. I'm just going out of my comfort zone. I'm going to choose Vivian on this one.
Yeah, she's got a little bit more experience too. And then Jack versus Edmund.
See, now this.
Oh man, that guy Jack. I'm like, who the hell's Jack? But then I just realized that guy's got wicked submissions, dude. It's like he's like the guy that just like does some weird shit and then he gets you and stuff. He beat Kelvin. He just lost to Marvin Vittori recently, but he beat Souza, which I believe that's Jacare Souza. Yeah, he beat Jacare. He beat David Branch. Everybody he's beat so far, I know, is a really good jiu-jitsu guy. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's 21 wins, 6 losses. It's a pretty good record. And then Edmund, he doesn't look familiar to me. He lost to Derek Brunson. He's coming off a loss.
That's what I'm saying. So based on who these people beat,
I'm going with Jack, bro, because he's a wicked dude, man. He's wild, dude. When he fights, he gets. I mean,
that's why I'm
he's
going to
weird, dude. Like when he gets like these weird submissions out of anywhere. Like, and he's got some wins by TKO too. So he can hurt you, knock you out, or choke the shit out of you. Edmund doesn't. It's weird. A lot of his fights, I think, were out of the UFC. I mean, he does have some wins by submission too, so we'll see. I'm gonna go with Jack on this one. And then you got the next one, which is Ferguson versus Darush. Now, here's my take on it. I don't think Tony's gonna win this, and this is my reasoning why. I don't think he's recovered from that beating he took from Justin Gagey. I just don't see it. Give credit what credit's due. That guy can take a beating. Like, I think if it was not against the rules, he would fight till he was literally dead. That's just how tough he is. You have to kill him to stop him, which is very few fighters like that. And I mean, he lost to Oliveira and Justin. I mean, he went like from winning like 8 or 9 fights in a row to losing his last 2. And I think part of the reason, we'll see if Oliveira wins the belt. I mean, he's smashed. I actually just saw this fight. I missed it when it was happening. Him and Oliveira, but I saw it on YouTube last night, and he got smashed by Oliveira. But could it be that Oliveira was that good? Could be, but could it be that he didn't really recover that much from the Gagey fight? I mean, the guy put a beating on him, dude. It reminds me of the old days when like Stan Severin first fought Takhtara, whatever that Russian dude was. Remember those beatings those guys would take? He was out fighting a guy that weighed him like 40 pounds, and he had the blood coming down. Back in the day where they didn't wipe the blood off you. just let the blood sit there in your eyeballs, and they didn't reset you like they do now back in the old days. But that's my opinion. Now, if he had not fought Justin, I would give it to Tony. Right now, on the ground, I really don't. As good as Ferguson is with his unorthodox ways of getting the Darce chokes, I think Darush is better, only because I've seen him compete against Kron Gracie as a brown belt when Kron was a black belt, and he gave Kron a very, very hard time. Stand-up wise, if this doesn't go to the ground, although Darush has been showing knockout power, right? I think he's won his last like 3 or 4 fights by knockout, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3. You got the last 3 were by TKO or knockout, right? Well, 1 was a split decision, but he punched the shit out of the guy. You know, he's getting better, but stand-up wise, if I would kind of give it to Ferguson. but I just don't know if he can take another beating like that again. I mean, what are your thoughts on this one?
I do agree with a decent amount of what you said. I think that Tony is great, but I think that once he got to certain fighters who I just think are better, like I always like with the Tony Ferguson and Gaethje fight, I had no idea that Gaethje was going to has improved that much and chose to be that careful, not just go in there, rock 'em, sock 'em, robots. Tony got eaten up by Gaethje because Gaethje just chose to be a true champion. He chose to fight better on the level of a champion. So I think that's the reason why he lost that fight. I think that Tony didn't even realize that Gaethje was going to fight that good. Now, Oliveira, I still feel that Oliveira is that good. I've always seen Oliveira just the same exact way he's always been. When he fought Tony, he was always that way. He just got better and better and better. And I think that I think he won it because he was better. Now, maybe would Tony have done a little bit better if he didn't get eaten up by Gaethje and, knocked around so much? Maybe. But I still think that Charles Oliveira was, he was able to handle all of the unorthodox and power just by being good, just by being that good. I would say Darnoush. I think Darnoush is going to win for a lot of those reasons that you just said. The guy is tough as nails. He's gotten better. And I think that, yeah, Tony, kind of got a little bit of the wind taken out of his sails because he lost against two great fighters. And Darnoush is up and coming. And Darnoush just seems to be getting better and better.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to give an award out, I don't think there is an award out there, but if I were to have to pick and give out the Shark Award for the most improved MMA fighter, the Beneil Dariush, he would get it. Because I mean, I've always seen him fight, but there was never big talks about him. He's been in the UFC for a very long time, and now he's just racked up the win streak, man. But now let's get to the main event. Now, I'm going to say who I want to win. I want Oliveira to win. I like Chandler, and I know because I followed him on Bellator a lot prior to them spinning off, going on different networks. I can't keep up with them. They keep going to different networks, which is another topic that pisses me off. Chandler is tough as they come. He's another guy that you got to kind of kill to get rid of. He's got good wrestling, and he's got knockout power. But I think Oliveira will win. I want him to win. And these are the reasons why I think he can win. Out of everybody that you've seen in the UFC, out of all great, he's not. I mean, I could be wrong. I'll double check. I'm too lazy to check now, but I don't think Oliveira has ever won a world jiu-jitsu title. But the guy, in terms of MMA, I can't think of anybody in the last 5 or 6 years that can pull submissions off their back consistently like he does. At all. Right? You can't. Right? I mean, occasionally Ferguson will get like a world, roll into a Darce choke. This guy can get you anywhere off his back. He's got the triangle chokes. He's got the arm bars. He's got great guillotines. He's got his tie. He's got a very unorthodox tie fighting style. He's very loose and goosey. He's not tight and, fixed. The only thing that I think is missing from Oliveira that Chandler's got is knockout power. That's the only thing that I think that he's missing. If you look at Oliveira's record, I mean, he does have some wins by knockout, but I would say 90% of his wins are by submissions, because he's just that good off his back. And if he mounts you, forget about it. You're going. He can take your arm. He can take your choke. I mean, he can do anything once he gets you to the ground. You know. Now, when you go to Chandler, he's got a lot. I mean, I'll count his knockouts. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. His last 3 fights he won by knockout, including a former UFC champion, Ben Anderson. So, I mean, that's the only thing that separates him. Whereas one's a knockout artist, the other guy is a submission artist. But the submission artist, unlike the other Brazilian jiu-jitsu experts, can actually fight standing up, right? Chandler, and the thing that he has also over Chandler is that he can kick, and he's got the reach. Chandler's a fucking midget, bro. He's a midget to kick my ass, but he's a fucking midget, right? He doesn't have those kicks. And if he does kick, it's going to be like those one-shot high kicks that he can't follow up, so, you know. Whereas the other guy, you know, Oliveira, he can follow up. He's loose and goosey, you know. He can follow. He could probably, if he wanted to, he could probably throw a double round kick if he wanted to land it in a fight. You know, that's my opinion. I just want to hear what your take is on that.
I think that Dan Hooker should have beaten him, but I think that Hooker was way too tentative, and he should have, he didn't have his hands up the right way. He was kind of standing up straight and backing up. I think that Charles Oliveira, especially now that we got a chance to see how Chandler was going to do in the ring, with the nerves of having his first fight, and now he's even more on, head in the clouds, thinking that he's, that good. I don't see Michael Chandler being a world champion like some people have been in the past, especially like Khabib. I think that Charles Oliveira is going to get him. I think that Charles Oliveira is going to stay chin down, hands up. He's going to stay tight. He's going to wait for his right moment. He's going to enter, and they're going to clinch. And if it does go to the ground, I think that Chandler's going to be really, really strong. He's going to be hammering away. But I think that Oliveira is going to be safe, and he's going to eventually, like you were talking about, he might tired out Chandler, even though he's got a lot of power and he's got a lot of cardio. I think that Charles Oliveira will slice and dice him, take his time, just like he did with Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson is known to have a lot of power, and he's known to be fast. I mean, he's known to be wild, and you have to watch out for him. But I think that Charles Oliveira is gonna beat Chandler similar to the way he beat Tony, or maybe even faster.
Yeah. And one thing I like to note, with Oliveira's got, with combined wins and losses, he's got 38 fights, man. That's a lot. I mean, Chandler's only got 27. I mean, but I think the fact that a lot of the fights for Oliveira ended in submission, they weren't like ring wars. Chandler's been in some ring. He's known for being in some bloody championships fights. He's been in some messy fights with 2 times with what's his name, Eddie Alvarez. I mean, I think one time one guy knocked the other guy out. The other time the other guy knocked the other out. So he's not as punch drunk, like easy to knock out as like Alvarez. I think if you tag him right now, because he's been knocked out a few times, he won't be able to take it. Chandler, I think, can still take it.
I think
Chandler's not going to let this go to the ground, though. I think he's going to prefer to stand up. So we'll see. I don't know. I just think Oliveira's kickboxing skills are too much. Will be too much for Chandler. But you never know. It's a fight. I like both guys, So I'm excited. It's not this old man's not going in there.
I think that Oliveira, he has he has prepared himself for what Michael Chandler is going to try and bring. Heavy hands, speed, aggressiveness. And I don't think that Charles Oliveira is timid. I think that he's just smart. I think that the way he approaches those types of fighters, I think he'll be very smart. I think he'll choose when he's going to enter much better. I think that he's going to be able to avoid all those big bombs by not being up against the cage, running away. Hooker, he gave him way too many opportunities. It was kind of on his bicycle. I don't think that Charles Oliveira is going to do that. I think he's going to be smart here. I think he has a lot of experience, maybe not with fighters that had as much power, but fighters that were close to that. So I think he's going to do well. Now, I could be totally wrong. Maybe he does really well, but then he gets hit with a big shot and he's done. And maybe Chandler has that much power, and maybe Charles Oliveira, might have loosened up when he shouldn't have. I don't know, but if I had to wager a bet on it, it's going to be Charles Oliveira.
All right, guys, you heard it. You heard the analysis from Zane and the Shark. All right, guys, we'll be back after a few brief messages.